And I'll tell you, we're a little over the 3-hour mark right now, so it doesn't look like we're going to be doing Q&A this episode. So if anyone is out there still listening at this point and they want to know how to support the podcast, Echo, tell them how to do it.
Well, there's a few ways. Yeah. So let's start with a lot of times I feel like it's just like kind of repetitive.
Well, it is repetitive.
Yeah.
And since we've already had people listening for 3+ hours at this point, we can feel free to move quickly, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But here's the thing, though.
Oh, there's a but.
I did more thinking. Where, what if this is the first time somebody was listening? Or maybe the second time it won't be as repetitive.
Okay, but if it's a person that they're going to listen to other ones, they're going to go back.
Yep.
And they can listen to one of those episodes that's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to listen to a little bit more. But right now, if we go long right now, they may not listen at all.
Yeah.
Now, some people say, oh, it's fun. We like that. No.
No.
Nothing is fun after 3 hours.
No, I don't know, though.
I went long.
Well,
there's so much good information in this book, though. I went long. I'm sorry. But I'm not really sorry. There's good information in there.
Yeah, that's the game. It's good.
But I think we could proceed quickly. That's what I think.
Yeah, sure. I dig it.
I'm not saying no banter. I know you got things you want to talk about with the stuff, but it's okay.
I'm gonna avoid the banter. The key here is really we'll go into it on it. Supplementation. Sometimes, hey, I don't need supplements. I have a great diet, or I'm just not into it. Just in general, I have to successfully convey the importance of supplementation, or at the very least, the value.
Go ahead.
So I'm not going to banter with you. I'm just going to go ahead and get after it right here. As far as, because you can, anyway. All right. Enough with Jocko real quick. On it, supplements, if you didn't already know. Krill oil or EDC. Okay, our EDC, everyday consumption of supplements. Essential krill oil for your joints. And this is good because this is the legit one. It's not the one where they kill a bunch of krill, grind them up, and then sell them to you. It's like the real deal that helps you. I could tell you the story about how it helped me, but
listen to the other 52 podcasts if you want to hear that story.
Yeah, just understand if you're going for results. On it supplements: krill oil, EDC, krill oil, Alpha Brain, Shroom Tech, Warrior Bars. Even though those aren't really supplements, they're like.
But you do eat them every day. So.
Yeah, everyday consumption. And I got the pre-workout.
How was that?
Good.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
Non-stimulant, by the way, so
doesn't
you're
make you jittery.
Jittery, yeah, nothing like this. And it's like there's like earth-grown ingredients in there as well. It actually tastes good too.
So On It calls things earth-grown ingredients. I'm just gonna go ahead. No, it sounds cool. Where else are they grown? Space?
No,
and wouldn't it be cooler if they grown in space or subterranean or something? What's up? Why are they trying to make it sound cool? It's cool. It's good stuff. How would they say that?
Well, the answer
earth grown.
The answer to that is lab grown. If you can grow stuff in the lab or just concoct it, chemically in the lab. Be quiet. So I'm just saying that's the differentiator.
You win,
which is good.
You win. Earth grown is actually cool.
It's a
just
good
doesn't
thing.
Sound cool. Okay.
And if there's any more questions,
I was
about
thinking
these
space
types of
grown. I was thinking moon base alpha.
Yeah, and if you can indicate the benefits of anything moon grown, I'm sure that they would provide that on the website or whatever. That's where I get the information. Anyway, Alpha Brain is proven as well. That's the thing with nootropics that help your brain. A lot of times people will be like, that's a placebo thing. They went through the real test to prove that it works. Proven scientifically, fact that it's dope. Anyway, onit.com/Jocko, get 10% off if you want 10% off. If you don't want 10% off, just go onit.com. Pay full price. Boom. Support everybody, everything, whatever.
No, you're actually not supporting anybody. And you're definitely not supporting us if you don't do that. But it's cool.
Well, technically it is because it's like you're still getting your supplements. You're still getting supplementation. We're just not getting the credit. So just like if like you donate to a cause and you put anonymous in the thing and then you donate another 10%, same thing. See what I'm saying? Anyway.
I'm going to just let this one go.
That's a good way.
Because I realize I'm guilty for making these things longer because I'm interjecting.
Yeah.
I should just be quiet over
Yeah,
here.
just be quiet. Well, it's your podcast. So you say whatever you like, right?
It's our podcast. Come on.
So on it is one of the ways to support. To wrap it up, onit.com/Jocko. Get 10% off. Help. They're good. Just trust me, they're good. Another good way. Christmas is almost here, man. It's like what, 4 days, something like that.
Something like that.
If you shop at Amazon, click through the website. That's a good way to support.
Click through the website that's called jockostore.com or called jockopodcast.com.
Yeah.
Because that's the website you got to click through.
Correct. Yes. jockopodcast.com. Over on the side, there's an Amazon little banner. Click on that one before you do your Amazon shopping for Christmas or whatever, or buying any one of these books that Jocko talks about. On the Jocko store, you got to go on the menu item support, and then it'll take you to the page with the banner.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of which, podcast 100, as we talked about when Tim was on this podcast, Tim Ferriss was on this podcast, we're going to do Musashi for podcast 100 because it's a big book.
Oh, right. He mentioned that.
We need to get it on the pod. So that will be on the website. So you can buy that book now because it's a thick book and we're going to do it for podcast 100.
Right.
You can click through. The other thing is that's beneficial about these ways of supporting the podcast, no advertisements on the podcast, except for this here, which I guess could be considered an advertisement.
Yeah. Kind of.
But I don't want to have the... And now for a commercial break.
Yeah.
We would like to present something that doesn't matter.
Are you tired of sleeping?
Right.
You know, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, the Amazon click, that's a good one. That's like, because it doesn't cost you nothing. It's like super easy. And it's like, you're kind of just in the whole game of just, reinforcement support. Amazon. Click through the website before you do your shopping. Boom. You can also subscribe to the podcast. I know that seems obvious, but sometimes...
back to this, you talk about this sometimes, Amazon. So you can click through Amazon, right? Let's say you're going to buy something that's not expensive, like a bunch of pens.
Sure.
Or some duct tape.
Sure.
You might think, oh man, I'm just going to go directly to Amazon because that's no big deal.
Right.
We don't need to support the podcast on this purchase.
Right.
There's two problems with that. Number one, if no one bought their duct tape without clicking through, we wouldn't get any of the benefit of having the site there. The other thing is, you got to exercise daily discipline in all things. And that just, if you get that, my point is that if you get in the habit of doing it, then you'll be in the habit.
Right.
Otherwise, if you only do it sometimes, then the time you go out and buy a lawnmower, then, or somebody bought a set of golf clubs. Remember that guy? He's like, I just bought some golf clubs, like $1,000 set of golf clubs. He clicked through.
Yeah.
So that definitely supports the podcast.
Yeah.
But it's because he had the discipline, the reinforced reiteration of doing it all the time. So just do it. Just do it all the time. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, it is true, man. 'Cause that's kind of the key is like to remember to do it. And here's
and everyone's duct tape counts.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like you're under no obligation to do that. I'm just saying most times you'd be like, hey, I want to support the podcast. It's cool because, but at the time of, hey, I need my duct tape, I do it, I buy the duct tape and it's like, oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
Just to kind of avoid that kind of situation. Yeah. If you have it in your mind, that's really the key is to remember to do it.
Then you're living with the guilt.
I know, man. Barely can go on. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, do that. Or subscribe to the podcast, and subscribe to the podcast, I should say.
Yep.
It seems obvious on iTunes you subscribe, but I don't know if you haven't already. Hey, subscribe. That's a good way to support, and leave a review, man. If you're compelled to. Those reviews are pretty dope, by the way. Subscribe on YouTube. We are, along with the podcast in video format. We'll do some excerpts, stuff you can share with people that they don't have to commit to 3 hours and however long the case may be to listen to the whole podcast. They can just listen to the 3 minute, 1 minute, 5 minute even things about
whatever the case may be,
about whatever little excerpts. I think those are beneficial. I think when people share that kind with me, I think you can learn a lot.
For sure.
I think there's, a lot to be said for it.
I think I agree with you.
Or We have a store. Jocko has a store. It's called...
See, now you say I have a store. We have a store. Not my store.
Yeah, but if I say Jocko has a store, it's called Jocko Store.
Okay,
it just sounds kind of cooler.
Okay.
So I was trying
An
to
original name, too.
Yeah. So I was trying to do that, but kind of interrupted, but that's cool. There's some cool shirts on there. Some layers on the shirts. I'm going to let you look into layers. I'm going to let you see the layers on your own. So go to jockostore.com. See if you can find the layers on the shirts. I'm not saying to buy a shirt or a tank top or a hoodie or I'm not saying to buy one. But if you feel compelled to buy one because you think they're cool, the layers hit you, they resonate with you. I don't like the word resonate. I'm going to use it anyway. If they resonate with you, get a shirt. That's a good way to support. Some patches too. You know the ones that with the Velcro, the regulation, those are on there too.
Yep.
Per your and other people's requests.
We had a lot of military and law enforcement that wanted regulation size.
Yeah.
So they can
in
represent
color.
In the field as they're crushing evil in the world.
Yeah, man. So yeah, they're on there too, and whatever else you think is cool. I'm gonna redo the mugs. They're gonna be like a special one, like a super high quality one.
The travel mugs.
Yeah, the travel mugs.
Yep.
And then there you go. And then psychological warfare. See, that turned out good.
It did.
And
I'm gonna tell you
that.
I was listening to your explanation of what psychological warfare was. You need to listen to it. It is unclear. You told the story. But it was like, you know how we're talking to each other right now?
Yeah.
And you were kind of telling me the story.
Right.
But I know a bunch about it. So when I listened to it, I said, you know what? People that that don't know what this is are going to wonder what this is. Echo asked me some questions about what I'm thinking about in certain situations of weakness.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Certain situations of weaknesses. And he asked me a couple of minutes, and I kind of told him, like off the cuff. Oh, I think about this and this. And he was kind of got that look in his face when I know he's thinking of something. So I said, oh, he's thinking of something. And then the next day, hey, we got to record these. So we came up with some more questions that Echo was like, oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Came up with the questions. And then I wrote down the answers and I read them into a microphone. We recorded it because that's what Echo does. Sometimes. And then he said, hey, I'm going to make this into, because people ask for ringtones. They want to be able to awake to, I guess they want to be able to awake to me.
Yeah. Alarm clock
stuff. So he said, I'm going to put these on iTunes and put them for sale. And I said, oh, well, if that's what you think. So the album is called, so it's an album of clips. They're like 2 or 3 minutes long.
Yep.
They're for psychological warfare against moments of weakness.
Yes.
And where do the moments of weakness come? When you want to get up in the morning. So there's actually, because I know that's a hard one for people. Yeah. There's 3 psychological attacks against the weakness of not getting out of bed in the morning. Yeah. There's psychological warfare against wanting to eat bad food. There's psychological warfare against procrastination. Just moments of weakness are covered in the psychological warfare album.
Very well covered.
And it's for sale on iTunes. And you got to search for Jocko Willink or psychological warfare. It's a little bit hard to find because of the way iTunes is laid out, because it's in spoken word, but that doesn't drop down under music. Anyways, it's kind of hard to find.
Yeah.
But it is on there. And it's for sale. And that is, in fact, another way to support the podcast. Yeah. Because it is for sale. Because people want to support the podcast. And so they say, hey, how can we support the podcast? And we used to say, people say, oh, do you have this thing where you can donate money? We'll just give you money. Well, I don't want you just to give me money. I want to give you something. If you just don't give me money, I'm not going to take it. Well, there's been a couple people that have given money, which is awesome. We appreciate it. But for my general conscience, right?
Reciprocation.
Want to give you something back. So here's what we give you. You give us money for the iTunes album. You get something back. And you know what you get back? Discipline in MP3 format. That's what you get. Yep. So check it out. They're they're funny. They're no screaming, but they're getting after it. And the feedback that I've gotten is awesome. Like everybody on Twitter is like, I've been out of bed every time. I didn't procrastinate on this project. Debbie said, I got this project done a week early because I didn't want to procrastinate.
But two side notes to that one. If you're gonna do the alarm clock thing, I said this last time. clear it with whoever you're sleeping with, your wife or whatever. Just make sure they have the heads up, because if they hear it, they're going to flip out.
Yeah, and they won't flip out because I'm going crazy. They'll flip out because all of a sudden there's a man in the room talking.
Yes.
That's enough to freak somebody out.
Okay, you got, one. Yeah. So kind of go over it. Go over the plan.
You don't want to freak people out.
Yeah.
You having your significant other reaching for their sidearm.
Yeah. You don't want that.
Putting the laser around the room, searching.
And second side note, good feedback for sure, but I look at the stats sometimes, it's been number 1 in spoken word category on iTunes. Number 1.
That's pretty
And there's some
legit.
other good people on that list, but it's been number 1 for.
That's awesome.
I think since we put it on there.
Dang.
Anyway.
Well, thank you everyone that's
everyone that's
picking that up. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's awesome.
But yeah, those are solid ways to support.
Couple other ways that you can support this one is you can get some Jocko white tea. It's pomegranate white tea. There's some pomegranate in there.
Some good stuff.
You can get some of that stuff. If you haven't gotten it and you think, I don't like tea, you're wrong. Because you haven't tried this tea. Because it doesn't taste, I'm telling you, it doesn't taste. I don't know what it tastes like. You know what it tastes like? It tastes like what it tastes like. There's nothing else that you can compare it to. It just tastes good. Really good. And it's got a little bit of caffeine in it. You can actually drink it before you go to bed if you need to. It won't keep you up. It's not that kind of caffeine. It's different kinds of. It's earth-grown caffeine. It's a kind of caffeine that there's not a lot in there. It's got antioxidants in there, and it tastes really good. And you can have it pre-workout, post-workout, pre-meal, post-meal, pre-bed, after bed, during bed. You can have it whenever you want. So that's the Jocko white tea. You can get that. And by the way, it's now been in stock. I'm going on like 3 or 4 or 5 days. It's in stock now. We've got a better system. We might have another fade. I got some stuff on the horizon. There might be a little dip in the system, but it's in stock in the tin, the luxurious tin,
yes.
or the big box, which has 100 in it.
Right. Reload.
And then you can get a mug. You can get a mug, by the way. The mug, it'll tell you what to do. It'll tell you what to do every single time. And what it'll tell you to do is get after it.
Yep.
So you get that mug on there, Jocko approved. And then Extreme Ownership, the book, Christmas. Why not get it for every single person you've ever known in your life? You might as well.
Yeah.
No, Extreme Ownership, if you listen to the podcast and you kind of like what we talk about here, the book, Extreme Ownership, it's about the same thing. It's about combat leadership. Also, speaking of Extreme Ownership, again, New York City, May 4th and 5th. We're doing the Extreme Ownership Muster number 002. The last one was 001 in San Diego. This one is 002, May 4th and 5th at the Marriott. We're going deep on combat leadership, which means we're going deep on all leadership because the principles do not change. The thing that's cool, everybody that's there, everyone's in the game. Everyone's in the game. CEOs, mid-level managers, every industry you can think of. And Leif's going to be there. Echo's going to be there. JP's going to be there in the game with you. You know, we're not hiding behind the curtain. We're not backstage. We'll be interacting, hanging out, doing whatever we got to do. And I'm telling you, it's going to sell out. So register ASAP. I know that Echo is going to make some videos. And the videos that he's going to make are going to show the last muster. And as soon as those videos come out, it's going to sell out. Because I've already seen the footage. It looks awesome. It is awesome. It was awesome. And the next one is going to be awesome. So join now. Register now. There's discounted tickets. If you're law enforcement, firefighters, or military, we got discounted tickets if you want to ask questions or get that discount. Also, if you have like 10, 12 people coming from your company, we can get a discount going there too. You can email muster@echelonfront.com. You can also check out the website, extremeownership.com. Real original. We thought of that one. And we look forward to seeing you guys there. In the meantime, if you want to kind of kick it with us, we are kicking it ourselves on the interwebs, on Twitter, on Instagram as well. And also, we gonna be on that Facebooky boy. How we gonna be there? Echo is at Echo Charles, and I am at Jocko Willink.